This is when the avoidant realizes they let the right person slip away. There comes a moment in the life of every avoidantly attached person when the silence they once sought begins to echo back at them. It doesn't happen during the conflict. It doesn't happen during the withdrawal or the pushing away. It happens after you, the one who kept reaching, finally stopped reaching. The avoidant, who once convinced themselves they didn't need closeness, starts to feel something unfamiliar: absence. At first they call it relief, but then the days pass, and that silence they once created becomes unbearable. This is when the avoidant starts to realize they might have let the right person slip away. Avoidants don't recognize love in the moment. It's often only in retrospect. They're too focused on protecting themselves from perceived engulfment or dependency. When someone gets too close, they misinterpret intimacy as a threat to their autonomy. So they pull back. They stonewall. They say they're busy. They stop replying for days. And yet they don't understand that love doesn't always come crashing in like a tidal wave. It sometimes walks in slowly, consistently, with loyalty, warmth, and deep emotional availability. But they dismiss it, thinking, it's too much, or I'm not ready. By the time they're ready, the other person, the one who truly saw them, is gone. The real shift begins not with an argument, but in the stillness afterward. The avoidant wakes up one day, perhaps scrolling through their phone, realizing there are no new messages from you. The good morning texts have stopped. The care packages aren't showing up. The voice that once said, I'm here, now belongs to someone else, or worse, to no one, just silence. And for a person who once feared being too close, the realization that there's no one left trying cuts deeper than they expected. They go through stages, almost like grief. First is denial. They tell themselves it wasn't that serious. They were too needy anyway. But that excuse doesn't hold up because they start to miss your consistency. The way you checked in, the way you noticed when something was off, even when they didn't say a word. Then comes anger, not at you, but at themselves. Anger at the fact that they couldn't let you in when you were right there, standing in front of them with open arms. Anger that they believed distance would make them feel safe, when now it only makes them feel alone. What most people don't realize is that avoidants often do love deeply, but it's a guarded love, buried beneath layers of protection. And it's only when the person who tried to understand them finally gives up that the avoidant is forced to face the truth. Their fear costs them something real. This is when they go back through the memories. The times you stayed up listening to their silence, the times you forgave their hot and cold behavior. They remember the look in your eyes, one that said, I see you, even when you try to disappear. And that memory haunts them, because they know you were the exception. You were different. Avoidants tend to be attracted to people who offer emotional safety. Ironically, it's the very thing they push away. But when they meet someone who understands their hesitation, who doesn't take their distance personally, who offers patience and empathy, they don't know what to do with that. It's unfamiliar, and unfamiliar feels unsafe. So they sabotage, they test boundaries, they withdraw, they pretend they don't care. But deep down, they're observing everything, watching how you respond. And when you finally stop trying, they start remembering. That's when the regret begins. Regret is a quiet companion. It doesn't shout. It sits in the back of the mind and whispers during late nights. The avoidant will think of what could have been. They'll wonder how things might have turned out if they just answered that message, or shown a little more vulnerability. They won't admit this to anyone. They may still act cold or indifferent on the outside, but inside, there's chaos. The emotional wall they built to protect themselves becomes a prison, and your absence becomes the ghost that walks with them. Eventually, the avoidant may try to reconnect. They might reach out with a casual, "Hey, how have you been?" pretending it's no big deal. But it is. That message took hours of hesitation, days of internal war. And if you've moved on, if you don't respond, or if you finally closed your heart to them, they'll feel the finality in a way they never expected. That's when the full weight of their actions crashes in. Because deep down, they knew you were the one who saw through their armor. You were the one who made loving them feel possible. And they pushed you away. This moment changes something in them. It's not instant transformation, but it's the seed. A seed that might grow into self-reflection, therapy, or even healthier connections in the future. But sometimes that growth happens too late. For you at least. Because you've learned the hard way. Love can't survive one-sided effort. No matter how much patience or empathy you offer, if someone refuses to meet you halfway, the connection erodes. And the avoidant, who believed they were protecting themselves, ends up being the one with the deepest scar. You see, the moment the avoidant knows they let the right person slip away is not loud. It's not dramatic. It's painfully quiet. It's the moment they realize no one texts to ask if they've eaten today. No one notices their change in mood. No one is waiting at the other end of their stonewalling. That once reliable love, the steady presence, the unwavering loyalty, it's gone. And now for the first time, they understand what they had. But the person who gave it has moved on. If you're watching this and you've ever been on the receiving end of an avoidant silence, remember this. Your love didn't go unnoticed. It was felt. It was valued. Even if it was never expressed in words. But you were not meant to stay and prove your worth over and over. Sometimes walking away is the loudest expression of self-love. And sometimes your absence is the only thing that wakes someone up to what they lost. The avoidant will remember you, not just because you were different, but because you offered something rare, safe love. You didn't demand closeness, you invited it. You didn't force them to open up, you created space for it. And even if they couldn't receive it, even if fear won in the end, you were a mirror they weren't ready to face. And in that mirror, they saw both their longing and their limitations. This is when they know. Not during the drama, not during the distance, but in the silence after your silence. This is when the avoidant realizes they let the right person slip away, and there's no one left to blame but themselves. So if you've ever felt invisible in love, if you gave your heart to someone who couldn't meet you there, know this. You weren't too much. You were just too real for someone still hiding from themselves. Sometimes the deepest impact we leave is in our absence, and the person who once took your presence for granted will sit in silence, wondering how they ever let it slip through their fingers. Let them wonder. You are not here to chase love. You are here to receive it, freely, openly, with someone who sees your light and doesn't flinch.